Sonic X Episode 7. After Cream is told to stay inside and she doesn't want to, Tails sees her gathering flowers outside. It's really out of character for the polite and well-behaved Cream to disobey orders. Isn't that her entire character? Tails then daydreams about Cream going to surprise her mom by making a flower crown. This wasn't about him fantasizing about her because he has a crush on her in any way. So I have no idea why Sonic F mean-spiritedly mocked the idea of him crushing on her out of nowhere in a painfully unfunny gag. Because all this was about was Tails trying to figure out what Cream is doing. Remember, I'm skipping all the scenes that don't involve Sonic characters. Cream overhears Chris's bad cook mother saying that she wants to throw a dinner party. I love that in Sonic X she said that the reason she's throwing the dinner party, so there's an actual reason, is that she's doing it to celebrate child services not being called for a whole year. And she humors Chris by saying she'll invite his cousin Sam Speed. Why does he want him to be invited though, when we see him with him later in the episode and he clearly hates him? And for some reason Cream is excited and loves parties, even though you'd think someone polite and well behaved to the extreme would have never been allowed to even go to a party thanks to her strict mom, and would just be socially awkward and confused at a party. Instead, she's pretty different from normal, and wonders if she can decorate for the party. You know, it's pretty bad when Sonic's scene is much more filler than Chris's scenes. I don't see what he's expecting to accomplish by following a map and running around some mountains. If he was trying to find a Chaos Emerald, like he should be doing, logically, then tell us that. Later it turns out he's just looking for a flower field, but, well, Sonic is normally a nature lover, but, huh? Shouldn't he just find an emerald? Man, the scene where Chris tried to keep his mom from discovering Cream really dragged out. That was just painful. This is when Sonic X is at its worst, where it's just boring because it's just filler with no action. I can see why people might have gotten tired of the ongoing plot point where Chris is just keeping the Sonic characters a secret from his family. At least Tanaka knew about the Sonic characters all along and didn't make a big deal out of it, so that's respectable of him at least. I don't think it was padding to have the Sonic characters be separated from each other and have to reunite. I think that was a perfectly fine plot for an arc. But it's annoying to have a whole bunch of time wasted on Chris preventing something from happening. A lack of something is not something. And yet we have this whole tension going on, where Mr. Stewart has a plan to put a video camera on a painting to catch footage of Sonic in the mansion. But the whole reason that he was sent to spy on Chris was because the government was suspicious of Chris in the first place. So what's the point? Who cares? They'll discover Sonic's living with him anyways. Cream then stupidly turns on a blender without the lid on with liquid on it, and somehow you'd expect Cream the Rabbit to be so well behaved and well mannered that she'd never even consider making this happen. Who is she? It's not established that she's a juvenile delinquent. It's not like she wears a leather jacket, like in that one cover of an Archie issue that only created expectations that would never ever be met. And then Cream sees Chris's mom angst about having to leave Chris because of her acting job again, and the scene tries to tug at the audience's heartstrings, complete with sad piano music and the lighting going darker for no logical reason. I was just distracted by the fact that she was parroting what the person was saying to her over the phone, just so that we'd know what the conversation was like on the other end, and it was so unrealistic. And when she talked to herself, that was the most unrealistic thing of all. Why wouldn't she just think it? It's sad, but it made a lot more sense in Sonic F, where she just immediately started crying. Then Chuck covers for Tails by knocking a pot down and attracting attention to himself and going in through the window. Again, the scene painfully drags out because Chris is trying to hide the Sonic characters. Finally, Cream reveals herself to Ella, and somehow I'm expected to believe Stewart didn't hear all the commotion right behind him just because he was so mesmerized by the mediocre-looking painting, which had a lot more focus on it in Sonic F and was funnier. Seriously, why did the normally well-behaved Cream just casually walk right in front of people she knows she's supposed to be hiding from? Cream as a character is defined by being extremely polite and obedient, and that's the whole reason she's so appealing to the Japanese. She's a polite little girl, and now this is an anime. You'd think you'd be that? I'm fascinated to see a reinterpretation of her character as a troublemaking little kid. But all she did here was cause trouble, and it's not explained that that's an intentional part of her character, and that's how she normally is. It's just like she's just being an idiot out of nowhere. Also, Sam wastes a gigantic amount of time bragging about his own speed and complaining about Sonic, who taunts him at one point, and the show wastes even more time on Sam complaining that he saw Sonic and people are lying that he wasn't there. Why did Chris want him here again? Then when Chris says he was naturally pretty mad that his mother rudely left him, Cream yells at him and explains that she tried to find him and say goodbye, and she runs away in front of everyone. Then Tanaka is right on the ball by immediately saying that he's a ventriloquist, but since the Sonic characters run after Cream right in front of them, there was no point in that. I loved how in Sonic F, after that he immediately said, "That was me too." I understand why Chris would want to keep the Sonic character secret in his house since they're aliens the government wants, but still, it doesn't feel like a fulfilling way to take up space in the episode. It's just painful padding. Like, there's no action at all here. And there's no genuine comedy either. I just realized that I guess it was trying to be a comedy episode, but since it failed, that goes to show you that Sonic should be about comedy. Because then there's just nothing but a painfully boring void with no excitement. Then the episode ends with Ella feeling sorry for Cream because her mother misses her, and they spend time together.
Now that Ella knows we're here, we can have the run of this place.
I love that kind of irresponsible teenager line. That's who Sonic is. And immediately afterwards he shows a sympathetic moment because he asks Chris why he's sad, and Chris hopes Cream isn't still mad at him for not thinking about how she missed her mother. But of course Cream isn't still mad at him and gives him a flower crown, and she somehow expects him to wear it at school and tell everyone who made it, even though she's being hidden in his mansion in secret right now. This whole plot is just her being given the idiot ball over and over again. How is this not the worst portrayal of Cream ever? Well, I did like in Sonic F, where Sonic asks him if he was going to take off the crown already, and Chris said, "Nah, it makes me look pretty." This episode was about Chris's mother trying to throw a dinner party for no explained reason, just to not show up because of her job, and Stuart doesn't put a camera on the painting in the mansion just because he liked the painting. And the real plot was just centered around Chris's failed attempts at hiding the Sonic characters somehow working. This was just painful padding, seriously! Really? You couldn't have had the characters fight something at some point? I understand why Chris wants to hide the Sonic characters from the government because they're legal aliens and world famous, but whenever the humans are trying to hide them, it just dragged out way too much in unfunny gags. Cream's character was defined by her being inexplicably a misbehaving kid getting the idiot ball over and over again, just to justify her revealing herself. Somehow even Tails the genius revealed himself without thinking. At least I can commend the episode in successfully tugging at your heartstrings when Chris's mother said she felt guilty about abandoning Chris all the time for a job. But it was so distractingly unrealistic that she was parroting what was said to her on the phone, instead of us just hearing the other end of the conversation directly. And worst of all, that she talked to herself afterwards to tell the audience how she was feeling. Sonic F did it better where she just immediately cried, but then it completely ruined the moment and point of the scene because Cream just thought she was a bad actor and her whole rant against Chris was about her being a terrible actor. At least I can definitely say Sonic F was better at this episode because it abridged it and made it funny, though that's almost always the case. This plot didn't have enough material to last a half hour.